Hello everyone, thanks for joining me again today. We're going to be talking about this old Boy Scout mess kit that I've recently received about 6 months ago or so. I'm thinking this is around mid 30s to 1940s, but this exact kit has been made since 1915 because there's a date on there I'll show you. But just like many of the other kits that you guys grew up with that use these or that you see on the internet now, it has this khaki type cover on it, okay? And then the previous owner, his last name was Yost, so that's pretty cool. He's got his name on both sides, so his kit didn't get mixed up, okay? But one thing that's missing on this cover is the round Boy Scout emblem. It's not on this one at all. And during my research, the ones that I did see did have the emblem stamp, so I'm not sure what happened there. It is a Boy Scout kit because if you look here on the black button, there's the Boy Scout emblem, National Council, New York City. Okay, so all of the older kits and examples that I have personally seen have a black button like this. The newer ones are a silver or a more shinier one. It's not a black button. Okay, so we open this up. We're going to take the kit out here and set it aside just for a minute. Well, the actual bag is worn quite a bit. You can see light through it really well when you look inside. But the one thing I wanted to show you that it has extra, and I accidentally pulled it out, is two little pockets here for the included spoon and fork. See the little pockets down inside there? Okay, they're sewn inside. And this is the silverware I got with it. They appear to be original and tin coated. You can see that they're a little bit discolored. I think this is tin coated steel. Here's the fork. Really long tines, which is what they use, which seems to be characteristic of old silverware. And it's got this type of pattern on it right here. Let me see if I can get a better focus on that for you. There are no stamps or markings on it. Okay. So a lot of the kits that I looked at, I've kind of researched back to 1930. I was able to find this kit, a picture of it. It seems like in the older ones so far in the 20s, I haven't been able to find an actual picture, but I still need to do some more research. But from 1930s to around 1940, 41, this kit was in production, and it had the silverware that came with it. This kit is made by Wearever. Okay, so I'm going to show it here. It's not stamped here, but you can see that it has the mess kit number of number 888, patent date of December 7th, 1915, made in the USA. And one way to tell some of the older kits is the strap here, it goes across the top, is flat. It's a flat piece of metal. The newer ones have these two raised areas here. So you can tell that that's a post-war 1950s, 60s, 70s kit. When it has the raised area here, that's what they kind of went with after this. Okay, this is an all aluminum kit. This may be steel though, I didn't check it with a magnet. It looks like it is steel. Okay, so let's open this up. This is a kit made by Wearever, and we'll start with the plate. The plate, I've seen it's called, sometimes they call it plate, sometimes it's called a pudding pan. It has a stamping on the bottom, and if I can get it turned the correct direction, it says Wearever number 168. You can see that. Aluminum and TACU company, trademark USA, made in USA. And there's the Boy Scouts emblem. Boy Scouts of America, the official Boy Scout. And it says be prepared in the middle. It says something there in the middle. Can't make that out. You scouts probably know what that is. But it's an aluminum pan. Pretty decently, pretty decent depth to it. Okay, really nice and good condition. This is aluminum. Okay, Now, all the other pieces also have their own numbers on it, but I'm not going to read you all that I just read you with the Wearever stamp, but each one has their own stamp. So here's the pot. Aluminum pot. Appears to be maybe steel handles, okay, and steel bail. On the bottom, we have Wearever number 234, and the rest of the stamp is the same. It's a heavy gauge aluminum pot. I mean, you can't even bend it. Another thing I like about this is the positive clicking handles. There's position 1, position 2, position 3, and then folded on the other side. One of the cheap Walmart kits that I had it's a Boy Scout kit knockoff. It didn't have this locking device, so the first time I used it, I picked it up and it was so shallow, about 2/3 of the depth of this one. It just tipped and I dumped all my water right out. First time I used it. But this one has this nice bail that's not going to allow that. Okay, so in really good shape. Awesome. The lid I like that it's dished. So I guess you could put some coals on top of it. I don't know if I would do that or not, but it's dished so that you could do that, I guess. It has kind of a more rounded D-ring. It's not like a squared off and then around like this and back and then squared. It looks more of a circle, but I'm not sure how flat it is in there. But you can see the difference. You would pick this up and you can leave this, slip your knife or something underneath there to take it off and check your food, okay? And it stands up on its own. It doesn't fall over. That's really, really nice. Okay. Let me make sure I got everything I want to say about that. Okay, so I'm going to leave this open here for the next part to show you, but the next piece is the cup. The cup has looks like a steel handle. Okay, which is kind of cool. I need to verify that. If it's not steel, I will put it in the description down there. I forgot to check that with a magnet. But it has its own number on it too, and it's a little more difficult to read. 893 is what it looks like. 893, and it's got the rest of the stamp is the same. It's not as good as the rest of the kit, but you can see it there. But 893 is the part number. Okay, and it's got a shape like this. The handle, some of these, the handles come and they go and they touch back to the cup. This one has an opening, which is kind of cool. And here's the cool function about it. I have a 1940s steel mess kit that the handle goes over and touches, and when you put it inside the pot, it just rattles around. So I have to stuff a nice sized bandana in there to keep it from rattling. But as you can see here, the handle being like this helps secure it. I mean, it's going to rattle a little bit, but that is a much better improvement than what they did during the next decade with the steel kits, okay, because they rattle around a lot. And then after, I forgot, but sometime in the 50s, they came out with the plastic cup, so you didn't have to worry about that anymore. Okay, so here is the skillet part. It has, you take the strap handle, as you guys all know, and you can tighten this down. A little wing nut right there. There is 2 holes here cut where you can slip a stick in here, and it extends your handle so you can get it further away from the fire. Here is a really interesting part of this, is this extra bracket here. Okay. So I don't think I'm allowed to put a picture of this, but I found the original patent for this kit from 1915 right here. I looked up this thing, December 1915, and I will include the link down in the description, but it does include in the original patent this little bracket. What that's for is whenever you lock the kit, it has a place for this handle to grab and lock, to help lock the kit, and you tighten the wing nut down and it looks like this now. So it's not going to go anywhere. Now, after World War II, soon after, I don't know if it was directly after, but soon after, they changed the design of the skillet. You'll see that it's a pressed aluminum that seems to be a lot thinner. A lot of you guys who've been in the Boy Scouts can probably attest to that. That the skillet got really thin. you can see this is pretty thick, and there's no lip on this. Okay, it's just a regular edge skillet there. But the new ones with the stamped aluminum had a lip all the way around, and that would allow this handle to lock into the skillet without the need of this bracket. So one of the ways you can tell if you got an older one is to see these two rivets in the picture on eBay. There's 3 on this side for the handle, 2 over here for this bracket. So the whole kit, let me get it all here in frame, silverware and all, weighs about 24.7 ounces. That's with the cover, everything that you see here in the frame. Okay. Like I said, I'm not sure exactly how old this is. They didn't change the design of this pot or this set until right before World War II, okay, or right when we entered the war. They changed the whole thing. The war effort needed more aluminum, so they switched to that tin steel kit that you saw in my other videos. Okay, so I'm not sure exactly how long this patent was good for. I wish I knew. I looked up. If you guys know how long a patent is good for, is what I understand is it depends. It really depends on each patent if they renew it. All it says on the link I'm going to show you in the description is it's expired for lifetime. So is that 10 years, 15 years, or just 5 years? I don't know. And how long will a company put the patent date on their kit after the patent is expired? It was sometime around, I don't know, late 30s. I noticed that Mirro started making these kits. I'll have to check on that, but sometime in the late 30s, early 40s, I started seeing advertisements for Mirro. I'm sure you guys have heard of those guys before. They started making these. So up until then, Wearever was the only one making these kits, as far as I know, because of the patent. So it's a really neat kit. I'm not sure how it's all gonna cook. I've cooked in it a couple times and at home on the stove, but I'm about to take it onto a camping trip, and I'm gonna cook breakfast. We're doing a hiking trip with the Royal Ranger boys, and I'm gonna cook some breakfast in this. I'm gonna film it for you. So hopefully that all works out. So I'm gonna go to the camp out now. Okay, so I made it to camp. Here's my hammock behind me. And down here we have a fire going. That's my brother-in-law, Jonathan. And we have a bunch of Rangers. I'm just gonna show their feet. Can't show minor. Oh, I just showed them. Oh gosh. Oh, here, let me show you the camp real quick. They're camped over to the side of me. Okay, I'll walk around a little bit later. But what's most important is what's about to happen here with this kit. So let me show you what I got. Okay, so here for breakfast with the Boy Scout mess kit, we're going to have some instant grits in the little pot. And we have we're going to fry up some Spam Light. I'm going to share this can with my brother-in-law. And we have 2 eggs. And I got some cheese to go in my grits and my eggs when I scramble them. And of course we got coffee. I've already hit that once. So let's get started with the Spam. And
here's my water, and I have the hot chocolate in my cup. There we go.
yeah.
You got some more sticks, Scotty? Sure. Well,
Official Boy Scout knife. Look at that. Another recent acquisition. Let go of my Spam. There it goes. Broke the suction.
brought some extra butter if you need it.
I got some oil. It'll do much better in the skillet than the butter.
I did forget salt and pepper. So
I've got salt and pepper.
That'd be great.
Yeah, I've got salt and pepper.
Could use. Coffee.
Now we need to get this over. Probably not gonna sit up there until I put something in it. I just thought of that. I get a little bit of oil. Okay. Throw a couple slices of this here Spam in there. Maybe one more if it'll fit. Oh, dropped it in the dirt. What was I thinking?
Yes, sir.
I hardly slept last night.
I'm gonna take this handle totally off of here.
You were sleeping when I went to bed. Go ask Commander Sherwood if you can have one of those hot chocolates before you take one. Ask him, okay?
You can have one, just go get it. It's right there underneath my pack. Cooking me something to eat.
Are you making a YouTube video?
Yep.
Where's the hot chocolates at?
Right there underneath my pack. Way too much heat. I had to fold the handle over because it was making the skillet fall off, so we'll just have to use gloves and pick it up.
Can I use some? Please?
Okay, so we got the
He's gonna see him.
Spam slowly sizzling, which is what I want. And then
Willie, I need you to get a bunch of sticks like that.
we need to
For your,
make some
like, cooking
instant
stuff.
grits. So it calls for half a cup of water. So I didn't bring a measuring cup, so I'm going to hope that the Boy Scouts thought this out and made this an actual measuring cup of 1 cup. So we're going to see. I'm going to pour that into my pot here, and we're going to roll with it and see what happens. So it's either going to be good or bad.
Right there, right here. I just need a pile about like that. Really.
It might be a little more than a cup,
Because I gotta boil your water.
but we're going to check it and see. I'm not for real. I'm not for sure.
Sorry about that, John.
Sorry. Okay.
Hey, remember just you give me a
We'll put our lid on and put the D-ring up so I can pick it up and check it.
Let's tell Richie his stuff's almost ready. He needs to get back over. Richie, your what do you say? Spam.
the spam. Yes, sir.
You got your hot chocolate and all that done?
Uh-huh.
Oh no, it's Willie. That's Willie I need.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Sorry, Willie.
He didn't get his hot chocolate yet.
Yeah, that's what it was. I'm sorry, Richie. I didn't call you over.
You got dirt in your cup again.
Howdy, Commander. Y'all keep
What's Commander Newman got here? 4 eggs. This is his brand new mess kit. It's a 1944, right?
Yep.
Commander?
Yep. Okay, so our water's almost to a boil. We're going to add a good amount of salt because grits needs lots of salt. And then some pepper. And now the moment of truth. Is this Boy Scout cup truly a 1 cup measurement? We're gonna find out right here. Number 1. And number 2. Let's see what happens. It's not looking good, everybody. Not looking good. I'd say it's a little bit more than a cup. So what we'll do is we'll add some of this cheese, kind of thicken it up a little bit. Oh no, it's starting to look a little better. Maybe.
It just has to cook.
Yeah, it's supposed to be instant.
Even that looks so nasty.
It's thickening up a little bit.
It'll be good.
So maybe after I take it off the fire and let it sit for a little bit, it may thicken up. So let's take that off, and now we just need to cook our eggs.
Can you give me some more twigs and stuff?
Alright. My stomach's starting to hurt. I'm about to blow up McDonald's bathroom. You're cooking boar food? Can I try a bite? Can I try a bite?
Oh, my plate. What's wrong with
You
you?
want the rest of that? You want the rest? You going? Want these? Hey. You want it? Take it off.
Commander Sherwood suggested we do this so everybody can see. If you really prepare and plan, you can have a really good breakfast out here.
That's right.
It was his plan.
See, show us that breakfast. Let me get a good shot. Oh, yeah. And then look at all these hungry vultures standing here watching. They all ate cold cereal bars and stuff, but you can make more if you just come prepared a little more, right?
Yep, that heated butter is just amazing.
So let's see about this here. I'd say the only downside to this kit is this handle is too heavy with it being steel, and it wants the skillet to tip over, so you'll have to cook with it like this in order to get it to balance on one of these wood stoves like this. Now if you're cooking by the fire right on the ground, it's a little different. So I need to keep an eye on this so these eggs don't get stuck.
I'll get him.
So this fire is way too hot for these eggs. I'm going to have to let it kind of cool down, or just keep taking it off, because if you leave it on here too long, it's going to, all the eggs is going to stick to this aluminum skillet. So I'm just going to keep alternating, putting it on for a little bit and then taking it off so it can cool down, so we don't overcook them. See, it's already starting to sizzle. Take it off. Stir it a little bit off the fire, and then put it back. Okay, so our eggs are pretty well done, so let's marry them with the Spam. Okay, so I'm gonna put the Spam down here. Zoom out. The marriage made in heaven. Right in here. Oh yeah. So you can see there I did have a little bit stick, but I think the more you use these aluminum kits and you let them season, they don't season like steel, but they season a little bit, and you control your temperature a little better than what I did with that fire, it won't stick as bad. So this is the first time I've cooked eggs in this thing, but it's not too bad. I mean, I can scrub that out fairly easy when I get home. We're leaving here having lunch out of the woods. So, I'll rake that over there. Let's take a look at the grits. too bad. Yeah, it thickened up some. So it'll work. So now all that's left is to enjoy. Okay, so I wanted to use the last element of the kit, which is the Boy Scout cup. Okay, so I got my creamer and sugar. We're going to do a pour over. And we're going to call this video good. Here we go.